talk about when you expand your business, because what you're building is a social media marketing agency. There are a lot of social media companies that are doing this exact same thing to bring in likes, follows, shares, as they have a team, but they don't tell you the team is all live, live people that work at their office. They have a team, and that's what we're building for you, is a team. Now, Garrett's on the call, and I'm really excited about this. Garrett, I'm going to open the floor up to you, if you don't mind, to talk about how do we go from a one license to having a VA work for us to maybe having 3 or 4 VAs working for us.
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. So I did want to just mention one thing too on your re-verification. So that was the whole, the re-verification issue was really how SessionSplitter started, because we saw that was such an issue in SEO, pretty much in general, and online marketing, just from all the way from buying Gmail accounts to buying different accounts to creating profiles and personalities and minions and all that stuff. And we saw that that was a real issue, and not only an issue for like when people are doing it themselves, but also for providers who are providing these kinds of profiles for others. And then basically somebody would buy 10 or 100 Gmail accounts, and half of them basically would be killed, within the first 5 days of a user using them. And so that was really the whole reason that we started SessionSplitter. So from day one, enabling people to not have to go through those verifications was really one of the foundational principles of SessionSplitter. So for sure, yeah, using that proxy, and then just making sure that that you're always using that same profile, and that's why we designed it differently than some of the other options out there as well. In the past, while we were using some of those options, because we are online marketers ourselves, we found that it was easy for us to make mistakes as we went through. And so what we did was we tried to make a system so that it wasn't quite as easy to make those mistakes. And I'm looking at that error right now to see if we can, what the heck's going on there. And if you could send that to me, we'll make sure we take a look at that too. Okay. So the upgrade right now, so recently we have decided that we're going to push the upgrades in a different direction. And I think specifically because of what we've seen with you and a couple other users, what we do plan on doing right now, basically you just have to upgrade to a new version. And I think we're getting that more seamlessly right now. But I think what we're going to go to in the future is basically what you'll have solo, which is the single SessionSplitter user, and then cloud, which is where all the profiles get stored and everything else. Now, as a solo user, some solo users will find a need for cloud, and then other solo users won't find a need for cloud. So, and that's an add-on to that. But from within the software, what we plan on having is the ability to say, where you can say, I'd like to add another license. Basically, adding another license creates a team. And so basically, I want to upgrade to a team level, which you could just do that for basically anywhere from 1 license to any number of licenses. And then what it'll do first is check to see if you have cloud or not. If you don't have cloud, you're going to have to buy cloud, because there's no point in having the team without you as the owner of that team having cloud. And then once you buy cloud or turn cloud on by purchasing cloud, then you will be able to purchase more seats as that team. And each time you purchase one of those seats, then cloud will automatically be added to that seat as well. And so just this morning, we actually started working on that. We moved through features pretty darn fast. So, that ought to be done certainly by early next week. And so that'll be a new upgrade path that we have available to us. I think right now, one of the big values of what we're doing is that we're pretty darn fast to make these kinds of changes. When we find specific use cases that validate the changes themselves, and certainly that's a use case that validates the changes, and we're really open to making changes as long as they don't one, interfere with the security of the software and of the profiles, and then also the privacy as well, meaning we don't want to introduce anything that's going to create footprints and bleed over of footprints. So I think we're really super open to all of that, as long as we can do so without any of those, either one of those two issues becoming a problem. And so that's what we're doing right now, and where we're headed right now with those.